they're just talking about the slope. And so this is kind of our best friend, in my opinion, this y equals mx plus b. Sometimes I've written it's how to move. That's what's next to the x. And then it's how to where to begin um, after the x. So as you can see there, it says the y-intercept is the b value. And again, move would tell me how to, the slope tells me how to move, and the y-intercept tells me where to begin. So specifically here, literally 43 is in that m spot. And so 43, negative 43 is in the m spot. So my slope is negative 43. And my y-intercept is everything after the x, which is negative 210. So if you had a graph, when you have a negative slope that's coming downhill, it would look something like this because that slope is negative. Okay, and we'll worry about the y-intercept in just a second. So for number 4, it says write an equation that has a slope of 11 over 2 and y-intercept of 0, 15. So if we start with y equals mx plus b, I know my slope is 11 over 2, so I've got 11 over 2x plus b. And this question is really nice because they gave you the form as a y-intercept. They did not give you something like 2 comma 7. You can't, if they gave you 2, 7, you can't just plug in 7 for b. But since they gave you 0, 15, you're allowed to just plug in that 15 for the 0. So again, that only works. That's only if the x value is 0. So final answer would be 11 over 2x plus 15. Okay, if that was a negative 15, if that was like 0, negative 15, it would be x minus 15. Now, this form, really hate this next form. It's just like, I think it's just not that helpful, but this is called intercept form, and it's because you can quickly find those x and y intercepts from here. But basically, if you want to find the slope of this, I would, basically that's just telling you to get y alone. And so what we have to do here is we have to move that 7x to both sides. So I'm going to subtract 7x on both sides. And that leaves me with 2y equals, those are not like terms, the 6 and the 7x. Since the 6 does not have an x with it, you cannot combine them. And so that becomes just 2y equaling everything you see on that side, which would be 6 minus 7x. To get y alone, you'll have to divide by 2. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to both sides. If you'd prefer me to write it as this, I can. But eventually we're just going to split it apart anyway. When things are separated by pluses and minuses, you got to make sure to divide everything by 2. So that would give you a final answer of y equals 3 minus 7 over 2x. And some people get a little tripped up here because it's not in the mx plus b form. The b is first. And so you can either, you have options, you can either convert it. You can put the negative 7 over 2 out front and the positive 3 at the back to make your life easier. Or you can just jump and still think the thing next to the x is still the slope or the m. So your m would be negative 7 over 2 and your b value is 3. If you're asked for the actual y-intercept, like the coordinate, it's just 0, 3. And if you needed to check yourself, if you plugged in 0 for the x right there, that whole negative 7 over 2 times 0 is just 0, and you're left with just a 3. So that's why it's 0, 3.